Right, so I'm back again. Last year I started a project with you, which was make a journal like this, and we were going to fill it. And I did the tutorials for making this journal. I'll link them below. I also took you through this journal to show you the kind of things that we might be able to fill it with. That's also linked below. And then we got to the end of making the journals. We made these two journals, and then my life got a bit complicated for me. Many of you know my mum was very ill, and the caring rock. But anyway, with one thing or another, we lost mum earlier this year in March. And I've been slowly getting back to normal. It's all good. We're catching up. And I think it's time that we started to fill these journals. So that's what my next crafts with me are going to be, is going to have a go at filling these two journals following the prompts that are also linked on those previous videos. So I'm going to have a go away and have a think about journal card, and then we'll come back and see what we can do. Right, so this is my first page, I guess we will say, in this series. Let's call it a series and keep our fingers crossed. So one is a journal card. In this journal, I'm going to leave the first page free at the moment. It's not particularly pretty, and I probably will end up covering that with something, but I do like that one, so that one is definitely staying as it is. This is my journal card. I've been practicing, or trying, practicing sounds, I've been attempting a few line and wash watercolours over the past year or two. Haven't really got into the habit of it, but I'm enjoying it, and this is one that turned out quite nicely. This was a little tutorial by, I can't remember the lady's name. It's Hanjamalt, I think. I'll try and remember when I put this up to put a link down below. She's on Instagram. So, you know, I could do a very simple page here and just stick this down and write about my watercolouring. But I'm going to do it a little bit more elaborate. By its very nature, a journal card, I guess, should be written on. So I'm going to make a tuck on here for this to slot into, so that I can write about this attempt at watercolour on the back. I also want to write a little bit about my favourite author, because I've been catching up on some of the books of hers that I haven't read. I've been lucky enough to find a few second-hand copies of basically out of print stories by Margaret Forster, who is I think an amazing author. She died fairly recently, sadly. She's a really interesting character. She puts a lot of herself, I think, into her books. So I just want to, there's a few quotes I want to write down and that sort of thing. So I might do that on the same page as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is make this tuck. And I've managed to find, I don't use a lot of yellow and blue, but I've managed to find some yellow. This is Tim Holtz paper, and I think this is from Stamperia. It's not a perfect match, but it will be fine. I cut this down too small. I used a punch. I used this punch, a Fiskars punch, to punch out a strip, and I was just going to use one strip down the edge, but it's, by the time I glue it, it's not really, I don't think, going to hold this card. So I punched another strip in blue, and I'm just going to glue this on top of this one, and I'll show you how I do that. I might be running out of glue, so we might be here some time. Oh dearie me, it's not good, is it? Okay, let's try this glue. found some zig glue, which I'd forgotten I'd got, so I think this might work quite well. I remember this one dries quite quickly. Let's put it on there. I'm just lining this up. Like so. Cut it off here. And hopefully now we can stick that down the edge of that page, and this will just tuck under like so. So let's do that. I'm going to use a slightly stronger glue to do that. I'm just going to use this this collall glue. This comes out quite fast and I don't want too much on there. So I really just want it down this back edge. It's like a mini pocket really. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a minute, and then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like with the writing. So, did that, done my writing, which has turned into more of a, less about the watercolour and more about why I should practice more and get on with it instead of watching too many tutorials and wishing I could do it. So popped it in, thinking about what I'd write. I'm going to leave Margaret Forster for another page, I think. Not quite sure yet. But what I thought, when I've done this, I don't know if you can see, but I've splattered. So I thought it might be nice to splatter this page a little bit. So let's just cover that up. Cover it with this side, just in case I want some more blue. I've got my watercolours here, and I've mixed up some green. I'm making it quite watery. Putting the colour on the brush, and I'm just going to tap. And there we've got some green splatters. We'll do a few yellow. And it would be nice if I could mix this blue again. Problem is I have no idea how I did it. Maybe it's just that one. Looks similar, doesn't it? Let's just try it. Okay, so now I've got a sort of matching page, so I'm going to let those drops dry, and then we'll come back and see where I am with it. So here's the splatters that are dry, and I just like the way that looks, and I don't think I'm going to do anything else to this page. Well, a little bit more, as you'll see in a second, but I don't want to make anything too elaborate. I think you can make a book look really pretty by keeping it really quite simple, but I am going to sort of echo this that I've got on this card. So on here I'm going to print. I've got a permaball, Pilot permaball. Unfortunately they don't make this pen anymore. I really like this pen. It writes on anything, but you can't get it. So I'm going to write learning to watercolour, and then I'm just going to do a line around the edge of my page. There we go. That's going to slot in there. There's no obvious writing, so it's just for me, and that's page 1 journal card in this little book. Have a go at doing something a bit different in the other one, and we'll see where we go. Thank you for watching. Hello again. So I'm back with we'll call this video 2, I think. I'll do it as a separate one. So just to show you again this first page in here with the journal card, I've also written on this front page, I told you, I think, if you remember, that I wanted to take a couple of quotes, 3 actually, out of this book. I've only read a little bit of it, but I'd already these quotes are very bleak actually, but they reminded me of something that's very personal to me, but I wanted to remember. So I like the way writing looks over a pattern page like this, or a excuse me, an illustration. So that's that one done. And so this one, I have a journal card, both that they're not new, I haven't made them specifically for this video. This one is very simple. It's just a piece of card, 3.5, just over 3.5 by 5.25. With, this is chapter 1 paper, so it's cream card with chapter 1 paper over the back. I've done a little fabric and lace pocket, and it's just stitched round, very simple. And this is a little mini collage that I made. I joined something called Fodder School a few months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. I joined it very late. It started in October, but I've really been enjoying it. So I'm not going to go into how I made any of this because it's a paid for class, but I thought that suited that little pocket there. And obviously I can write on the back about what I'm doing and why. This is just going to be glued in. I'm going to glue this down. I don't want to write on the back of it. So this is my journal card, and I found this scrap of paper. This is a paper that I've used a lot in my journals that I really love, and I'm just going to tear this to cover the top and probably the bottom of this page, just to add a bit of decoration. And obviously I haven't got a lot of it, so I've just torn it in half like that. That piece will go there, this will go at the bottom, and we'll put the journal card in the middle. So I'm going to just cut these down, glue them onto the page, and then I'll be back. So I have stuck this card down, written a little bit on the back about the Fodder School that I'm enjoying so much. I felt that this was quite bare, so I thought maybe a quote, and I've got a little scrap of this pretty paper left, which might work there. Just getting my black soot distress ink, because I think if it's going on there it needs a little something. I also like to get rid of the white edge on these Tim Holtz quotes. So that's going on there. That goes under there, like something like that. Just to fill that up a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is on this page, maybe up here, I'm going to write down the Fodder School teachers and their Instagram handles, so that I've got a record of those. So when I've done that, I will come back and finish this video off. Okay, so just back to show you the writing. So I've listed the teachers down there, the instructors. I did stick this down with a bit of Fabri-Tac, and at some point I will probably write on here and maybe even on the back of this. Sometimes I go all the way round. That would actually look quite nice. So if I have some kind of profound thought about Fodder School, I'll write it probably like that round the page. But I'm going to leave it as it is for now, and we'll be back soon with our collage prompt. Thank you. Bye bye.